Well, hey y'all. This is welcome to the Dredhead Cracker Show, and I am the Dredhead Cracker. If we have not made that point perfectly clear so far. Okay, good. So I just wanted to check in, and you know what? I do not have any subjects prepared for for my talk day, but I just wanted to say hi, I guess. I wanted to show off my new hat. I mean, it's not a new hat, but it's new to you guys. It's a hat that I actually married my new wife Jenny in this hat. Yeah, I was in shorts and yes, I did put on some tennis shoes and stuff, but it was out on a boat and shit like that when we got married. And honestly, it was not one of those things that were a tuxedo or anything like that. Because I don't know, boats. You can't even wear hard shoes on a boat. You gotta wear tennis shoes. Well, I did, but anyway. That reminds me of something that today, excuse my thumb here, I'm on my phone because I can't find my iPad, and it's somewhere around here. And that has a stand and stuff where I can just sit back and look. But I got to hold this, so I'm a little jittery today. That's because I'm on my telephone. And, so, I was speaking about what Jenny was talking about this morning, is that she's thinking that I really should include in the Dredhead Cracker Show my previous wife, my previous, I don't know if she was a girlfriend or even whatever she was, but, I was going through a hard time and she let me stay in her trailer, and her name was Mildred. And I don't know, I can, lots of times, and I may start to bring up Mildred, because we had some good days and it was really fun. I'd be like, Mildred, look at this. And she'd like, oh, Cracker. Isn't that the funniest thing? She just point out everything, and then at another time, Mildred would call me a freaking loser redneck dude, and you know what? I've never been a redneck. There's a difference between the cracker and a redneck, and I'm not gonna go into that because I was talking about Mildred. So I just want to introduce you guys to Mildred. And so in the future, when I bring up Mildred, and there's lots of times when I forget that I've married Jenny, and, the Mildred days are over, and we're driving down the road, and I look over and go, Mildred, look at that sign. Jenny looks at me like, are you fucking with me, you asshole? Excuse my language. I'm supposed to not say this stuff lest YouTube decide to no longer host my video presentations. So anyway, so that's Mildred. And Mildred was a completely wonderful wife. She took care of the Dredhead Cracker, although I was almost never there. There was in the time when the Cracker was gone doing the Cracker ship. The Cracker was back in the day as a pretty busy guy doing Dredhead Cracker stuff. And it ain't been like forever. Excuse me, I had to recross my legs. It's not been forever that I was even Dredhead Cracker. Maybe I was always a cracker. But it was a time when I kind of looked like a long-haired hippie guy, to tell you the truth, and you wouldn't even think that I was a cracker. You'd think I was Well, yeah, long-haired hippie, commie pinko kind of looking guy. But anyway, if you were a friend of the Cracker on Facebook, I went to the trouble today to go ahead and, because of this whole is the Cracker real conversation. I'm sorry, but I feel as if it's important that I'm sorry, I just have to do this myself because I don't have anybody who currently loves me enough to film the Dredhead gag or oh God, I'm getting in trouble because she's right over there. Let me see. No, I know. I have to turn this way for, I don't know. There's the Jenny. I mean, but she is not. No. Jenny is just Jenny, and I do not want to make her a big part of this stuff because I'm talking about Mildred. And I wanted you to know that between Mildred and I, we had a pretty good old time, you know, and it lasted like, what, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you know, I mean, before I met Jenny, that was a long relationship for the Dredhead Cracker. I mean, the Dredhead Cracker is so attractive and handsome that it's very difficult for me to beat him off with a stick all the time. And, you know, Mildred just didn't like that shit, so pretty soon, Mildred bailed. And then the Dredhead Cracker was alone for a long time when I was living on this sailboat. And by the way, that sailboat today had her mast reattached after being all the wires and the ropes and all that stuff kind of like redone and stuff. Because, you know, the Dredhead Cracker let it go a little too long. And it all had to be redone. Well, it wasn't all my fault. It was an old sailboat and shit had to be done long ago. And I bought kind of a lemon boat. But at least the hull didn't leak when I bought it. It kind of does now a little bit because I drilled a hole through it. But I got a bolt and some flex seal, you know, around that hole, and I'm really hoping that she keeps floating. But anyway, so Mildred and me have parted ways, and though I still have fond memories, and Jenny says maybe you should talk about Mildred more because she thinks Mildred was hilarious. And I don't know, she's like, well, I can't imagine you being with anybody that crazy. And I went, well, look in the mirror, Jenny Lou. But anyway, I just wanted to, like, I guess say, if I ever bring up Mildred again, you all know that it's someone like kind of from my past and no longer, I mean, I don't even know where Mildred lives no more. I think it's Austin, Texas, but I don't really know. And yeah. Anyway, let's go into another subject before I just close out this session of the Dredhead Cracker Show on my handheld device, which is kind of a pain because I'm a little unsteady. So I just wanted to tell you guys before I think about it, the Dredhead Cracker, despite how well I have taken care of my body, my temple, which is my temple, I had to go to the doctor today, and I had you'd be surprised what they do to you nowadays. I mean, you know, they hooked me up to bunch of wires, and they completely took like half my blood supply. Now, I'm not saying I'm anti-medical or, you know, medical science, but I gotta say, I am a little bit, you know, towards the naturopathic kind of things, but nevertheless, as it turns out, at this particular junction in time, the Dredhead Cracker just really can't trust naturopathic, holopathic, and whatever. I just had to go see my doctor, and he took all these tests. There was even one where I stood on this thing that was like a scale, but there was no weight. You had to hold some handlebars. And apparently, they were checking my body mass index. And by the way, you all know the cracker is skinny as a rail. So I thought that was stupid. But anyway, they also did a memory test. Now, this is the part I really want to tell you about, was the memory test. Now, as you can imagine, the Dredhead cracker being given and not a long term. It wasn't like no history test or like, you remember what happened last year or anything. No, it was like short-term memory test. Now, let's face it. Everybody knows how that was. How that was going to turn out. It was not going to go well. And yet, just like the president, I answered all them hard questions, and I was passed as being capable of living on my own for the rest of my life. For at least another 5 years. I don't know what they were testing and what would they do. And, I told the girl, well, I smoked a bowl before I came here. And she said, well, let's just see how you do. And I aced it. So I asked her, does this mean I could be the president of the United States? And she said, well, I think you're pretty much at least like the stable genius we had before. And I told you I'm not supposed to do that. But that's what she said. And I didn't mean to bring that up. I'm sorry. But anyway, the Dredhead cracker had his heart tested at all. They had my thing in my ear where they were like, can you hear? And I was like, hell no. They say, okay, good, raise your hand when you can hear something. And a couple of minutes go by, and then all of a sudden I hear a beep, and I raise my hand. She's, you're fucked, dude. You're as deaf as a doorknob. And she asked me, do you have hearing aids? And I said, well, I once did. But the last hearing aids I had, I tell you, me and Mildred. No, it wasn't Mildred. It was Jenny Lou. Me and Jenny Lou went down to Jamaica. My, would you call my spiritual home? And, I mostly don't remember much because upon arrival, I asked the taxi driver taking us out to the, kind of remote place. We need to get some weed and some Red Stripe beers. And he, it was like, it wasn't even strange for him. So we stopped and he's got the Red Stripe beer so Jenny and I could have a beer after our long travel. And we were thirsty. And then he went a little bit further around the mountainside, and the roads are about as thin as my legs. And I gotta tell you, it's always worrisome. But he pulled up to a little spot on the side of the road, and he said, "Give me the money." And he asked me, "Do you need papers or anything?" I said, "No, I came prepared. I bought a new pipe and everything that didn't have anything on it. So if it was found, it wouldn't be illegal. It's just a piece of blown glass art." So anyway, he comes back, and I swear he brings me like 4 freaking colas. And so I was talking about my hearing aids, but so by the time we got here, and it was The place was on a cliff, and there was, guys were being all macho, jumping off the cliffs and through the caves, and it was like there was a lot of opportunity that challenged these redhead crackers' masculinity, and yet I took the big jump. I did the jump, and I forgot to take my hearing aids out. And so into those hearing aids, and so ever since then I've been kind of just putting it off until I get some hearing aids that no matter what I do to them, I can get some new ones right away. And because if you ask Jenny or Mildred, she'll tell you that I can't remember where my keys and wallet are, so therefore I cannot be trusted with these little tiny devices. I mean, actually, I have lost a guitar, one of my favorite guitars, and because I forgot that I had it on my neck when I went in the ocean, and off my boat into deep water, and in my effort to get back to the surface in my naturally somewhat inebriated state, that guitar sunk to the bottom and has never been seen again. So anyway, the moral of the story is do not try this at home. Don't ever take on the mission of duplicating the Dredhead cracker in your lifetime, nor should you show this to your children who might be in some way influenced to take on the Dredhead cracker's lifestyle. So anyway, I guess this is my sign off here, and it's been really good talking to you. So as always, I like to end my presentation with, bye y'all.